We believe that what's happening around sustainability has the potential of being actually much, much bigger than the internet revolution. We actually see it as a new economic revolution, potentially of the scale, if not more, of the industrial revolution, but with an implementation and execution in the digital age. We think it's going to also completely change all sectors of the economy. It's going to create many winners and lots of losers. And we think it's simply not an option from an investment perspective to ignore this very strong trend. So our views on sustainability are articulated through 4 key and core convictions. The first one, which is really important, is that we've come to a conclusion that our economic model as it is currently is simply no longer sustainable. The good news, which is our second conviction, is that we believe that we have started to transition to a more sustainable economic model, and one which can still focus on delivering growth, but without its negative footprint on environment and society at large. And we call this the concept of decoupling. Our third conviction is that actually the world of business has started to realize it and is rapidly migrating and bifurcating between those companies who get it and those who are still in a state of denial. We call them the eagles on the one hand and the ostriches on the other. Which leads us to our final conviction around sustainability, which is we believe this is potentially the most interesting source of investment returns in the next 3 to 5 years, if not much more beyond. What would be the shape of this new growth model or new economic model? It will be one that continues to very fiercely focus on growth, because without growth, our societies have many other issues which we'll have to deal with. But it is one that can deliver growth without this negative footprint on environment and society. And we call that decoupling. Now, for this decoupling to occur, there are basically 4 key components of our economic model that needs to change. We need to move from a bloated, dirty, wasteful, and uneven economic model to one that is lean, clean, circular, and more inclusive. Today, we rely still far too much on fossil fuels and resource extraction to function our economic model. But again, the reality is that the cost of wind, solar, and batteries are being driven down exponentially. And that sharp reduction of cost will fundamentally disrupt the energy and the mobility industry. Another point which is really important to note is that this transition to a more sustainable economic model is actually not only happening in front of us, but it is accelerating. And it's being pushed by 4 extremely powerful catalysts. The first one is policy changes and the very fast implementation of rules and regulations, which we see now pretty constantly. The second one, of course, is the drastic change also of consumer behaviors, which again is affecting many industries. The third one is technological innovations, which are providing new ways of doing things in a cheaper and cleaner way. And the fourth one is the fact that the finance world is slowly waking up to this transition, and as a result, private capital is moving. Now, let's not be under any illusion, and this is why we get quite excited from an investment perspective. This transition to a more sustainable model will require us to completely rethink many established norms. We're going to need to rethink the way we feed ourselves, the way we plan and power our cities, the way we approach healthcare, lifestyle, and so on and so forth. And that will have an implication, again, on all sectors of the economy. Now, let me just share with you how we perceive what it takes to be an eagle company or a sustainability champion. For us, an eagle company is one that has the foresight to see all these changes coming and has the courage to adjust and make some very drastic adjustment to its business model to align itself with this transition. For us, an eagle company is one that will constantly ask itself whether in how they are doing what they're doing or in what they are actually doing, they are aligned with this transition to a more sustainable model. For us, the characteristics of an eagle company are things like DNA or sustainability being firmly hardwired in the DNA and the mindset of the top management, is where sustainability is looked across the whole value chain, not only on the business itself of the company, but also in the supply chain and the customer base. For us, a sustainable company is one that is firmly willing to hardwire sustainability in its long-term strategy and set some very concrete goals on which they're willing to report on a fairly transparent basis. Basically, for us, a sustainable company or an eagle company is one that has shifted its focus from a sole and unique bottom line to a multiple bottom line. It wants to remain quite focused on profits, yes, but not only profits, also people and planet, because that is going to matter for the transition to a more sustainable model.